Hello, I'm now going to demonstrate WebSphere Service Registry and Repository version 8.5 on PureApp v2 systems. First of all, we log into the Pure box, make our way to the workload console, and then find the patterns. In this instance, the V type has already been loaded and all the configuration performed by the Pure administrator for us. V type comes with 5 patterns, the 3 for the cluster and 2 for standalone. Essentially, the flavors encompass having a database which is on the Pure system and one which is not on the Pure system. For standalone, we only offer having a database on the Pure system, as it's unlikely you want to have a standalone with a database off the system. And for those on Pure systems, we have one flavor for AX and one for Linux. In this case, we're using an AX rack, and so I shall take you to the standalone, the internal DB2 for AX, which is here. This will create you a standalone WSRR with only one node and one database server. No HTTP server, just the 2 nodes. Sort of demonstrated here by the preview. I'll move to deploy that. Because default passwords are a bad idea, there are no default passwords, and you need to go through and enter all your own passwords. Well, I've just entered all the passwords now, but I'll still take you through the options and show you what can be set. First of all, you must choose the instance password for the DB2, which is set here on the pattern attributes. And for DB2, you can specify all the usernames and the passwords as required and the port, also specifying the name for your database. WSRR options are a little bit more limited, choosing the admin username, password, where it's to be installed, and the type of database in this case. That's fixed to be DB2. You can also choose your schema name. It selects all your Pure relevant attributes, and you can initiate deployment. We tried to keep everything as simple as possible on the patterns, trimming back the options that are available in order to make it easier for the user to deploy. Time, you'll be able to click on the status up here, which will take you to the deployment page for the instance you're deploying. You can witness the deployment, checking on the history as different scripts are executed, and eventually, after a short delay, you should actually be able to use your instance. The pattern is now deployed and will show status running. If you expand the virtual machine perspective twister, you can see the machines involved in the pattern. In this case, a DB2 machine and WSRR machine. Expanding those allows us to see their information as well, where we can see the individual statuses of the middleware, and also at the bottom of that section, any console links. Every now and again, the UI updates in order to make sure it has latest information. Sadly, you can't control when that takes place. Here we can see the WSRR dashboard and WSRR web UI links. Dashboard being the most recent UI for WSRR. Because the certificates are unsigned, you will see warnings about your certificates. Time you load the WSRR dashboard, you might have to wait a short while whilst all the widgets load. This is usual. And here we are at the WSRR dashboard, where you can do all the things you expect to do. Now move back to the Pure UI, and we'll do the same thing for the cluster. this case again, we're going to use the internal DB, obviously run the AIX operating system. This time there are many more machines involved because we have an HADR set up for the database, as well as a cluster for WSRR and an IBM HTTP server that fronts that. So similar to last time, there are many options. On the pattern, you specify all the DB2 parameters because they're shared between the primary and the standby. You can also specify options for your HTTP server, whether they're limited, basically just passwords. You get the same options for the deployment manager, choosing a database, password, and user. And you can choose from the base scaling policy how many members you want in your node. You'll see here it's set to 2. I'll just go away now and enter all the passwords. Now all the passwords are set. Environment profile, and we can deploy. With the standalone, after a short delay, you're presented with the link which takes you to the deployment page. Here you can scroll down and you can see the history as it appears. At this point, it's so new there is no history. And the page will update frequently. Or you can hit refresh yourself if you want to get the status. Or after a short delay, it's possible to actually look at the pattern now that it's finished. In fact, before I take you to the URL for WSRR, I'll bring you down the bottom and you can see here in the history, it's now got many entries, unlike at the beginning where it hadn't done anything. So you can see here what's taking place. So like before, under the virtual machine perspective, you can look at the machines. And unlike before, this time we're going to go to the IBM HTTP server because that's where the links are now for the UI. Down the bottom, just like before, of the console link. Of course, there isn't a link to the WAS admin here because that is on the MGR node. I'll click the dashboard here, and I can log in with the credentials as before. And now here is the Service Registry dashboard, where you can create your business service or whatever it is that you want to be doing. And that's the end of the demo. Thank you very much.